Welcome to the Sisterly Shove, a podcast designed to push you headfirst into the utterly unserious world of sports. Our goal is to make talking sports less intimidating, whether you're a rookie, a seasoned pro, or a boyfriend just trying to keep up. We're your hosts, Cass and Emma. Let's give it a shove. I'm just going to start out here. I just want to let our listeners know that we do apologize. We did not put out an episode last week. We did have a death in our family and we just weren't feeling up to record. So apologies for that. But I'm actually so excited to get back into it this week. Emma,
Yay.
I missed you. I missed talking about football.
I missed you. I'm glad we're back. And this week we have some fun stuff to talk about. We're talking football. We're going back to the Secret Gardens. And for a little special treat, we're bringing back the Divisional Drama segment to introduce y'all to all things the NBA. So I think we should just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. And let's start with our Secret Gardens this week. So unfortunately, my secret gardens are starting to get full of weeds. I've got dogs shitting in my yard. I've got squirrels eating my flowers. Like, my secret gardens are turning into a fucking nightmare. But Emma, how are your secret fucking gardens?
I'm giggling. Okay. In our Need That Win League, I haven't officially won. I should go unless like Cortland Sutton somehow puts up 30 fantasy points tonight, which I just don't think he's going to do. I should take home the win there. Our family league is getting a little bit too dicey, almost a nail biter if I say. I need the Broncos to like absolutely shut down Jamar Chase tonight. So if that happens, I could hopefully take home that win. But for me, not only am I praising Puka Nacua, I'm also giving George Pickens his flowers this week. He has stepped it up in CeeDee Lamb's absence. So we're loving that for me.
I'm so fucking jealous of you and your fantasy football success. While I'm 0-4 in the hashtag Need That Win League. I'm devastated about it.
Right.
Because, of course, that's the league where we're doing a punishment. No, I don't know what the punishment is yet, but I'm sure I will know in 10 weeks' time when I fucking lose the whole damn thing.
The drama. Like, actually, you don't deserve that. Truly.
I really don't. And you know what? And it's the worst thing about it is that it's a man's fault. It's actually many a man's fault. Like,
speak on it.
How about you fucking step up and do your job? I'm looking at you, Derrick Henry. I'm looking at you, Lad McConkey. So actually, none of this is my fault. Derrick Henry, hold the fucking ball. Stop fumbling all the time. I don't know where he was this week. He decided to just take a break. I think he's embarrassed. I think he was shamed.
And you know, as he should be. But the best way to bounce back is to do good work.
I know, but he was trying to in week 3. He was so excited to shut them haters down. Then he fumbled again. And then Lad McConkey, I just don't really know what your fucking problem is. How can you let last season's Butterfingers steal your wide receiver 1 job? Like, Quentin Johnston literally could not hold the damn ball at all last season. And now all of a sudden he's catching every single touchdown for the Chargers. What the fuck? So, sorry. I had to scream and shout about that. I had to yell. Because I'm just getting frustrated. But in our family league, I am 3-1. I did lose this week. I did lose this week, but last week I won. So 3-1, like
3-1's,
I'll take it.
Yep.
At least I have some sort of good going for me. But the hashtag Need That Win League, it's hard to watch. It's hard to behold. So that's the men that disappointed me this week. Did you have any men that disappointed you this week?
Well, dead ass, they're going to be the same as who you said. Derrick Henry, show up to work. Can't believe you're not. And here's what actually pisses me off with Lad McConkey. I texted my dad, David, and I said I have a quick cue. Should I take Lad out of my starting lineup and switch him for Chris Olave? The thing about the family team is my bench is not as good as in the hashtag Need That Win League. So I was like, I was already feeling like, do I switch him out or whatever? I should have trusted my fucking gut and switched him out because even though Chris Olave only put up 13 points, it's better than Lad's 2
points.
Points. So
2 points.
Honestly, like Derrick Henry, I'm like really hoping he's going to bounce back. Like I know this isn't his true nature. Lad, though, you're on thin fucking ice. Like don't expect to be a starter next week.
I'm for sure going through something similar here because I have Lad and Derrick on the same team. And well, CeeDee Lamb was on that team and it was injured. So, like, it's a little hard for me to switch him out right now because I already am down one starting wide receiver.
Right.
But, like, with Derrick Henry, I'm like, you want to think because you spent that high draft capital on these two guys that, like, just keep them in, shit will work out. But I'm like, how many weeks am I going to give you to figure it the fuck out before I sub it out? I don't know. And then is there really anybody that's on my bench that can add that level, that can elevate, or is it just going to be up and down no matter fucking what? So you might as well start the guys that you drafted early. Because Lord knows the second I take Lad off my roster, he's going to put up 30 fucking points.
Literally, and that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So I don't know. At least one of my secret gardens is like somewhat of a safe space for me right now.
Yeah.
The other one is looking rough. I knew I was going to be fucking embarrassed when we talked about fantasy football, but that's okay. I will take it in stride.
You're taking it in stride and you're doing a great job doing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Speaking of men that let us down, I think we should go into our next segment.
Yes, our new segment, Diva Down. As mentioned last week, we will highlight some fellow divas in the league who are down bad after week 4 in the NFL and give a devastation grade. Unfortunately, there were many a diva down last week and many we lost to injury. RIP to y'all. I think the biggest one we lost was Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver for the Giants. He tore his ACL in the win over the Chargers. Unfortunately, that means he's going to miss the rest of the season. Cass, on a scale of 1 to 10, how devastated are you?
So, not to be a hater, my devastation grade is only a 3.5.
Okay, period.
And this is because I don't have Neighbors on any of my fantasy teams. So, like, to be honest, I could care less. And the Giants, shit team. So, it's just kind of like whatevs.
Right.
In fact, it might benefit me in the long run because that means my fantasy opponents are down a player.
And I'm looking at you, Kim. I'm looking at you,
Kimmy. So honestly, I was giggling and laughing at her this week once that happened. Not to like prey on someone's downfall, but
we have to sometimes.
I will. I mean, the only thing that's like, is that we won't get to see him and Jackson Dart play together for the rest of the season. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good over here. Moving on to the next Diva Down.
At what cause?
The next Diva Down that we're going to discuss is Lamar Jackson. He exited Sunday's loss to the Chiefs in the third quarter with a hamstring strain. The Ravens were at a 14-point deficit at that point, so they were playing pretty bad anyways. Also, the Ravens are 1-3 and have lost in devastating fashion to the Lions, the Bills, and the Chiefs. Emma, my Lamar truther. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your devastation grade?
This one's a goddamn 11 for me. Not only, as you mentioned, I have been a Lamar truther this whole season, he's also my starting QB in the hashtag Need That Win League. Hamstrings are really dicey because they are something that can get aggravated real quick if not treated properly. They can lead to lots of missed time. So I'm sending him many a good thought and hoping for a speedy recovery. I need my king to come back soon.
T's and P's, Lamar. As of Monday, we don't have any updates on like how severe this is.
Right.
I don't think he's supposed to miss a lot of time, but you're right. This is an injury that could get re-aggravated pretty easily. Also, Ravens are not looking good.
They're playing with concussions or something. I don't know.
So that would be pretty devastating for them if Lamar was out. So hashtag down divas. So sorry for y'all.
Literally, we're thinking about you. Get
T's
better
and
soon.
P's.
T's and P's.
Let's go on to a better note here. I want to talk about our week 4 standouts. I want to start off with the Chargers at the Giants. We had both picked the Chargers to win this game. They lost 18-21 to the Giants, who started not Russell Wilson as we thought on Monday, but they started Jackson Dart. For me, the Chargers reverted back to the fashion that I thought they were playing at last season. This is the Justin Herbert that has never won a playoff game. This is the offense that has never won a playoff game. They got embarrassed. I feel like I never really bought into the Chargers propaganda here because like everybody was like, Justin Herbert is the next big thing. But I'm like, just wait for him to disappoint you, though.
Literally. Yep. We have had our foot on that man's neck.
Their defense has been solid, but their offense definitely has some weaknesses. And why is it Justin Herbert? Low key.
Dead ass.
Meanwhile, Jackson Dart is diva up, not diva down, diva up. Emma, what were your impressions of Jackson with an X's first game?
What a game from him, truly. I think putting up the stat line that he did, he threw 0 interceptions, didn't have a turnover. It's very impressive and very beautiful to me.
I love a king who just comes on in there and fucks shit up.
Literally, I think it's so fun to watch. And as you have mentioned, the Giants beat a team that people have been looking at. They've been talking differently about the Chargers this year. I mean, they saw those first 3 games and were like, oh, this could be a sneaky Super Bowl contender. And then you lost to Jackson with an X.
Jackson with an X.
Like, good on him. He impressed me. I will say I'm a little sad for Russell Wilson, though. But at the end of the day, you go with the better QB, and Jackson looked like the better QB out there.
That's #embarrassing right there.
That's embarrassing as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's tough to watch.
It's tough to watch.
Sorry, Russell. That's a Wisconsin
T's
man
and P's
right
to
there,
you as well.
T's and P's to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson should have been in our Diva Down segment. He really should have.
Low fucking key.
But he's getting his shout out on his flowers here. Sorry,
exactly.
Russ.
So, yeah. Anyways. Okay. Let's talk about the Ravens at the Chiefs. At what cost? My fucking sanity. But let's talk about it. So, we both chose the Ravens this week.
Yeah.
It is so irritating to try to be a fan for this Ravens team. And I know you mentioned this to me earlier a couple episodes ago. They're a team full of chokers, and I see that. But, you know, Lamar being questionable with the hamstring injury, Derrick Henry not showing up since the first week of the damn season. Like, the vibes are bad. And also, it's still fire Jim Harbaugh for me. I don't know. Someone's got to get fucking fired and figure it out, because, like, the way that this team is 1-3, I can tolerate the loss to the Bills, right? But the loss, with the way this Chiefs team has been playing, this should have been an easy win. Sorry. I will say, for the Chiefs, this was a good game for them. I think it kind of like reminds us all, like, okay, yeah, they are a scary threat if, you know, we meet them in the playoffs. I don't think this is going to be how every single game is going to be from now on. I think they just got really lucky with the plays made and what have you. But I do think, like, with Rashee Rice coming back, it is looking better for them in the long run. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a much easier time getting the ball down the field. So watch out for the Chiefs, y'all. They seem to be waking up.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, I've already expressed how fucking disappointed I am in Derrick Henry. It's not only that, though. Like, their defense is banged up right now, and it shows. It shows bad. And all I could think about during this game was the fact that I should have known better, and I should have picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs were at home. Their backs were against the wall. They got Xavier Worthy back. And at the end of the day, Mahomes has Lamar's number. Like, he really does.
Truly.
I was never a Ravens truther, and I feel like I was low-key influenced. I feel like you low-key influenced me, but it's not only that. I mean, I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming women. Also, the Chiefs are playing like shit, too. So I'm just in disbelief they lost that bad. It at least could have been a close game, and it
could have.
Was not at all. So disappointing as fuck. Speaking of disappointing games.
Let's speak on it.
You already know I'm going to talk about Packers at Cowboys. That ended in a fucking tie.
No way we stayed up until midnight.
What the
for
fuck
a game
was
to end
that?
in a tie.
In a tie. That is so irritating to me. In 2 weeks, I have not witnessed a Packers win.
What the fuck?
They lost to the fucking Browns. Disrespectful as shit. And then they go ahead and tie with Micah Parsons. And you let them put up 40 points without CeeDee Lamb. This is just unacceptable. Where was the amazing defense we saw in the first 3 weeks? Nowhere to be found, even though this was supposed to be Micah Parsons' revenge game. On the offensive side, there are way too many penalties. Our O-line is weak as shit. What was the time management at the end of the game there? I'm looking at you, Matt, and Matt LaFleur, you know I love you, and you know you're sexy.
It doesn't excuse
be smarter.
that.
Be smarter. Yep. So I'm just overall frustrated. I feel like the bright lights, big city, high expectations got to us all. Okay?
Yeah.
Me included. Fans, players,
Tell me
coaches,
too.
everything. Okay? We need to focus on the little things, lock the fuck in, and you better well, they have a bye this week. You better fucking win next week, okay?
Literally,
Figure your shit out
her.
in the off week.
Somebody in the Packers fucking GM team best be hiring your ass, because I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying. So outside of what you also said, I also thought Jordan Love had some crazy brain dead plays down the stretch of that game. I am unsure what he was smoking, but that like the last throw with I don't know how many seconds, like 3 seconds on the clock to nobody in the end zone. Like,
I know. He was going for the win there, and
yeah,
because he didn't want to spike the ball because he didn't want to just kick it right then and there.
right.
But like you let the clock wind down way too much. And you are lucky, sir. You are lucky that there was 1 second left and that we were able to kick the field goal. Otherwise, you would have lost it on that goddamn play.
Dead ass. So that was a crazy watch.
I can't even talk about it anymore. I feel like my blood pressure is spiking.
Wait, give me one little quip here, because I will say the only bright spot for me, you know what I'm about to say. What? It was George Pickens. It was a George Pickens game.
I'm going to fuck about George Pickens.
He was on the Cowboys, and I know he's a diva, but he is my diva. And he brought my fantasy team so back, though, Cass. The way I was projected to lose so bad, and then somehow the George Pickens game happened. Back to, like, horrible, horrible lows. Didn't know football games could end in ties.
You didn't know football games could end in ties?
How fucking lame and embarrassing. Let them boys
I know.
work. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play in the grass.
It doesn't happen that often, but yeah, they can end in ties. Even Josh Jacobs' performance couldn't save me this week. He put up like 30 points.
He was so
unreal. Didn't save me in either of my leagues. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just fucking done talking about this.
Okay, let's move on to the rapid fire game reactions then. Dare we?
I suppose we dare.
So the Seahawks at the Cardinals.
Cardinals are posers and always have been.
Period. Vikings at the Steelers.
So if anyone was paying attention to the socials, technically I said I was going to pick the Vikings, but I did pick the Steelers first, and then I never actually saved my changed pick to the Vikings. So I actually did pick the Steelers. So God herself was looking down on me. And the Vikings backup quarterback Cinderella story expired. So should have known that was going to end.
Beautiful to me.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Commanders at Falcons, another backup Cinderella story that also expired this week. So moving on from that, Saints at Bills.
Saints played good for like 1 second. Good job for them. That's all I got to say.
Good job for them. Keep up the average work.
The mid work.
Browns at Lions.
Lions are looking like a threat again to me. I think they just needed to wipe the dust off from week 1. They're looking good, unfortunately.
And that's annoying to me.
Panthers at the Patriots.
Bryce Young, if you could throw a touchdown to Tet, that'd be cool. Like anytime now, you know? Fuck you, Bryce Young. That's what I want to say. Eagles at Buccaneers.
Oh, I hate the fucking Philly Devil magic. I can't stand it. They stole that from the Chiefs, but good win on them, I guess.
Whatever. Still boring as hell. Boring to watch.
Boring as hell.
Titans at Texans. That's another one that I want your opinion on. Or
Cam Ward's right. They look like ass.
Period.
I mean,
that's all.
That's all I gotta say.
That's all she wrote. Colts at Rams.
I'm laughing because the Colts deadass shot themselves in the foot this game. Like, that is funny to me. Long live Puka Nakua.
Pookie.
Literally, my king, my baby, my girl. Jaguars at 49ers.
I don't know what moved me to side with Trevor Lawrence and his fuck-ass Bob this week, but I'm glad that I've 49ers, y'all are fake. Lastly, Bears at Raiders. Gino, have you ever tried not throwing an interception?
For fucking real, speak on it, especially because I chose the fucking Raiders to win this week. So, Gino, you have an enemy in me for life.
Okay,
so anyways,
that was our rapid fire reactions. Do we have any rapid fire reactions for the current games that are going on Monday night? Tyreek Hill snapped like a fucking stick.
Oh, and I know he was like fucking smiling in pain off that cart, girl. He's like, I know he wanted to shed a tear.
Yay, I don't have to play for this fuck-ass team.
Yeah, dead ass. That's the only, and I don't know what's going on in the other game. Tell me, give me a piece.
Broncos are winning by a lot. Duh. Kind of knew that was going to happen, so.
Good, I locked them this week, so needed that.
Love that for you. And that's week 4, right?
Week 4? Yep. Mm-hmm. I can't believe we're already in the midst of week 5.
Yeah, it's been a whole month.
That's crazy to me.
Speaking of week 5, let's
Yep.
move on to the pick me segment. This is where all the teams are giving pick me energy, and we oblige. So we did miss a week. We already talked about that. But let's see how we're doing here. In week 3, I had 10 right. 10 of, I forgot how many games.
16.
10 of 16 games right. And Emma had 7 of 16 games right. Emma.
Girl.
Emma. Oh my God.
Bro, being a silly goose is not working in my favor at all.
You know, sometimes you just gotta silly goose it up and hope for the best.
Literally.
We both made a bit of a bounce back in week 4, though. Emma,
Thank
you have
God.
8 right so far, and you're probably gonna get 2 more tonight, so that'd be 10.
Less.
So that's better than your 7. And I also have 10 right so far. I will probably only get 1 because I did pick the Jets because I wanted to win the pot.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to win the pot
You
for
did.
this week. I originally picked the Dolphins, but I was like, and I'm not even going to fucking explain that. Whatever. So we made a bit of a bounce back, but I do think I'm pulling a bit ahead in the overall picks this season.
Yeah, girl. I think you are. I actually don't even need to say I think I know.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's okay because we all need a silly goose. In week 4 of the NFL season, so far, Emma and I both incorrectly chose the Commanders over the Falcons, the Chargers over the Giants, and the Ravens over the Chiefs. And then Emma, surprisingly, you picked the Buccaneers over the Eagles, and I picked the Eagles over the Buccaneers.
I know.
Oh, and you also picked the Raiders over the Bears, which we talked a little bit about. Emma, do you care to die on a hill here?
I think the one I'm willing to die for, because I hate all these other fuck-ass teams, is the Commanders over the Falcons. I mean, yes, Baby Gorgeous is out, but the Falcons literally put up 0 points against the Panthers, so I was, like, expecting that the Marcus Mariota-led Commanders could do something to that team, but clearly fucking not. I was wrong. So
yeah, so
God
true.
forbid a woman have faith.
How are you gonna pick the Falcons, who just got shut out, to win against a team that looked very good and won the week before, even with the backup quarterback? I'm there with you. The only one I really regret is probably the Ravens over the Chiefs, just because I'm like, as I said earlier, I should have known better with all of the pieces coming together. But overall, solid week. I'm not mad about it at all.
Much better than week 3 for me, so I'm going to take it with grace. So shall we move into our week 5 predictions?
Let's get into it.
Thursday Night Football, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the LA Rams, with the Rams being favored by 4.5. I'm taking the Rams. I think, personally, this is the sneaky LA contending team for me. They have they've looked good, and I know the Colts did look better than them last week, but wins matter at the end of the day, and they were able to pull it out. So I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, so true. The Rams are always slide right in there, right? They've always got a good enough record. So far, the injury bug hasn't found them, knock on wood. And I think that is really benefiting them versus obviously the 49ers, who are hit by the injury bug, even though they have Purdy back. They're still missing Kittle, and Bosa's out for the season now too. These two teams are in the same division. Divisional games are always a toss-up. They're always going to be close, but I'm going to go for the healthier and better team here, which is the Rams.
Yes.
Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Cleveland Browns. The Vikings are favored by 3.5. As crazy as it is, I kind of want to take the Cleveland Browns here. Joe Flacco he's not that bad. And the Browns defense is playing lights out. I think Myles Garrett gives the O-line some trouble, and they got to win.
Yeah, this to me was a little bit of a tricky one. It's the battle of the defense. It really has me intrigued. I don't know. I just like choosing the Browns feels sacrilegious to me, so I'm taking the Vikings. At what cost, I'm not sure, but I will be finding out. All right, moving on. The noon game, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Jets. Taking the Cowboys.
Cowboys are favored by 2.5, and they are fucking annoying, but I will unfortunately be taking them as well. The Denver Broncos at Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 5.5. I'm again picking the Eagles here. They seem inevitable, and who am I to bet against them? I know they're gonna have a really good record this season. I might as well just pick them every time, to be honest. So
yeah,
Eagles.
I am learning my lesson. I picked against the Eagles the past 2 weeks. I'd be a silly goose if I did it again, and like I said earlier, I can't. That's clearly not rewarding me, so I'll be taking the Eagles. The next noon game, we have the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens, with the Ravens being favored by 3.5. Ass against ass, it feels like.
Yeah, no shit.
Taking the Ravens. Derrick Henry, please, like, change my mind on you. That's all I'm asking.
For the sake of my fantasy team as well, please.
Right.
Do something. So I am also going to take the Ravens here. I'm assuming Lamar is playing. If he isn't, maybe reassess. But
yep.
If he's playing, like, it is vital that the Ravens bounce back here. The Texans' offense is just terrible. I mean,
it's so bad.
Congrats, you finally put up more than 20 points against the Titans.
Right.
Like, it's a tough watch. But the Ravens defense is also terrible too. So I don't know, but I have to believe that the Ravens get it done here. If they don't, if they lose this week, I might have to be done believing in the Ravens.
I might be fucking with you, girl. Like, I'm going to be free Lamar Jackson in the streets.
All right, New York Giants at New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 1.5 here. That's crazy to me. Jackson Dart played lights out last week, even without Neighbors. So let's keep the good vibes going. I'll be picking the Giants, I guess.
And I know I just said I'm not going to be a silly goose.
But she's being a silly goose.
But I'm about to be a freak. And I'm going to take New Orleans. I
love that.
It just feels right.
It's a feeling that she has. Honestly, I love that spot for you. That might be a good one because why do I feel like some of these rookie quarterbacks, they have an amazing first game and then all of a sudden they come out their second game and they look like shit.
Right. And so we'll fucking see.
This could be a good one for you there.
You're welcome to the people of New Orleans. You got a new fan. The next noon game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts, with the Colts being favored by 6.5. I'm back on Danny Dime's side. I will be taking the Colts this week.
I would agree. Colts all the way. Gino cannot get out of his own way. And even though the Colts lost, Colts still look damn good against a really good team.
Good. Yeah.
And that's weird to me. And it feels all wrong, but I gotta go with the Colts. Next game we have Miami Dolphins at Carolina Panthers, with the Dolphins favored by 1.5. Trash game. You'll be lucky if I watch this game at all. I think I'm gonna go Dolphins here. Panthers week 3. Their win was an absolute fluke. Like, don't know how y'all did that because you look like trash last week. So guess I gotta go Miami.
This game is interesting to me, and now with the recent Tyreek Hill development. But here's the also thing. Like, I don't think I watched more than 5 minutes of a Carolina game this whole season. I'm unsure what that defense looks like. I don't know. But I have Miami wrote down, but I think I'm going to go Carolina.
I love that. And you know what? You're responding to the certain circumstances of Tyreek Hill being out. So I can respect that. I think it'll be a close game with that recent development. Next game, we're going into the 3:00 slate here. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seattle Seahawks, with the Seahawks being favored by 3.5. I'm going Bucks here. You know I'm a bigger believer.
I know you are,
I think it's kind of interesting the Seahawks are favored here. I know last week wasn't really the Buccaneers' best showing, but they almost found a way to win. And typically, if it were any other team, I feel like they would have found a way to win that game. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm going Bucks.
I don't like this game. I'm inclined to pick the Seahawks, so I'm just going to pick the Seahawks.
And that's
I've had fun being a Baker believer, and let me tell you, y'all, my TikTok page was flooded with Baker Mayfield edits, so I enjoyed my time, but I think I'm going to move on, at least this once.
I love that you ended up on the Baker side of TikTok.
I know he was so fucking weird and got arrested or tackled by the police.
He's also, I don't know if you know this, he is a major shit talker. Like,
major. And why does he headbutt people so fucking hard? Like,
I love him. Something about him.
He is. He's very charming to me. This game is interesting, so I'm taking the home field advantage, I think. Okay, next game, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Arizona Cardinals, with the Cardinals being favored by 8.5. Another silly pick, y'all. If anything, this could be a week 3 repeat for me. But I'm taking the Titans.
You did say at the beginning of this season that you're like, I might have to ride with the Titans for a couple picks. Here she is.
And you know what? And here's my truth, right? I'm honest and I'm standing on it. The only reason why I'm picking the Titans is because when Cam Ward got up on that mic and he said, yeah, I think we're ass. We need to figure out how to win a game. Maybe it will like light a fire under them or something. Who knows? Doubt that's the case, but
maybe. And we're going based on vibes, and I love that for you. I don't think the Cardinals win by 8.5. I think that's ludicrous. But but I do think that they win. Sorry, Cam Ward. Next game, Washington Commanders at LA Chargers, with the Chargers favored by 2.5. If Baby Gorgeous is back, give me Commanders all the way. If not, I may unfortunately have to go Baby Girl over Baby Gorgeous and pick the Chargers. So this one's kind of up in the air for me personally.
Yeah, I am not to be like, oh my God, I'm copying you, but I'm kind of copying you. If Baby Gorgeous is back, I'm taking the Commanders.
It's because we're logical and we're smart.
Right.
That's why.
Like, I don't know. So, but I'm right. I have Commanders written down in hope that Baby Gorgeous is back. In the next 325 game is the Detroit Lions at the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Lions being favored by 9.5. I'm taking the Lions, and they might damn near put up 50 again.
Yeah, whatever. I'll pick the stupid fucking Lions. Sorry. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that they're winning the division and we're not.
I know, girl. I know.
They're so good and it's stupid and I'm mad about it anyways. I'm just being a poor sport.
Speak your fucking truth.
Anyways, not me being a whiny bitch on the pod. Anyways,
as you should be.
Moving on, Sunday Night Football this week. We have the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills, with the Bills being favored by 7.5. I think this game is going to be trickier than people think. Again, I don't think the Bills win by 7.5. But I do think that they still win this game.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm also taking the Bills. I agree with what you're saying there. They weren't beating New Orleans till the last 8 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, 7.5 is kind of crazy, but I do agree with you. I think the Bills will take home that win.
And the Patriots had themselves a game last week.
Yeah.
That was beautiful to behold. Drake May still on my bench. Y'all got my phone number. He put up
Girl, I might have to call you. Because
I might have to call myself and actually put him in the game because I was like,
hello. Okay.
Hello. Oh, yeah, girl, you got my phone number. I'm in need of some wide receivers. So
maybe I'll have to look at something.
We have to do a trade for the first time ever. We have to do a trade.
Be so fun.
That would
let
be
me
fun.
know who you like. Okay,
I will.
So
I like Puki Nakua. Give me Puki Nakua.
Girl, no. Absolutely not, unfortunately.
Damn,
I like
this for the shot.
Okay. The last game on the slate, we have the Monday Night Football game, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the Chiefs being favored by 3.5. I don't know. The Jaguars love playing weird games, and I just don't really trust them. I think Kansas City had a really good statement win last week, so I'm guessing they want to come out being like, let's keep this ball rolling. So I'm going to take Kansas City.
Agreed. I literally wrote down keep the good vibes going. I think that Chiefs are going to keep it going. And I just know that Jacksonville loves to shit the bed and be fucking weird and freaky. So they would win against the 49ers and then lose against the Chiefs that look like shit. So that is it for the week 5 games. I still can't believe it's week 5. We've got a lot of teams on a bye this week. Excited for this weekend. And also excited to now start preparing for the basketball season.
Oh my gosh.
Not only am I managing 3 fantasy football teams, we will now be managing a basketball fantasy team.
Get ready to be working a full-time job, babe. The Secret Gardens, 40 hours a week are necessary. And yes, NBA season is quite literally right around the corner. I thought today would be a perfect day, or a perfect episode, I should say, to bring back Divisional Dram. We have missed her. Or at least I have, love a fucking nasty little diva storyline. With the NBA season right around the corner and teams doing media this week, I thought it was the perfect time to bring this segment back to give you all the important drama and lore and the information you need to go into this 2025-2026 season.
And girl, I need this because I don't know a damn thing. I don't know anything. So this will be real interesting. I'm so excited to learn all about these teams. I want the tea. I want the drama.
Yes. So before I kind of get into, I did choose 2 divisions that we'll talk about today. I'm going to give a little breakdown on how the NBA is constructed. So as a whole, the NBA has 30 teams. And they're separated by 2 conferences. You have the East and you have the West. So 15 teams each conference. And then within those 2 conferences, there are 3 divisions with 5 teams. Teams in the same division will play each other 4 times a year, twice at home and twice away. And this is where you kind of see a lot of those rivalries build up, especially throughout the years, because you are playing those teams all the fucking time. So now within the conference, teams will then play each other 3 to 4 times a year, depending on the scheduling. And then when you look at teams that aren't in the same conference, so an East and a West team, they will only play each other twice. So they'll play each other once at their home stadium and then away at the other team's home stadium. This is what makes, like, I would say the finals so fun, because you aren't meeting a team that you're super familiar with. And there's a lot of kind of like scouting and game play, like going into like, okay, how are we going to beat this team once we get to the finals? So that's kind of like the general construction of the NBA. They did add something called the play-in tournament, like I think 2 or 3 years ago. We'll get into that as like playoffs come closer, because it's whole fucking confusing and I don't feel like explaining it right now. So, Cass, how are you feeling? Do you have any questions?
Okay, so far this is pretty similar to how football is set up. It's just a lot more freaking games.
Yes.
Like a lot more.
Yes.
So in the playoffs, I'm assuming it's the same type of thing where then you're only playing your conference until the actual finals game, and then you're playing the other conference winner.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Okay. So, yep, throughout, like, to move on, you're playing all the teams in the lower seed or above seed, whatever. And then, yep, in the finals, that's when you meet the other team out west or out east, whatever you want to say. Okay. So, let's get into it. This week, I chose the Northwest Division in the West and the Atlantic Division in the East. Now, I am going to let Cass choose which one we want to talk about first. I am going to prepare you, though, and say the West is much better than the East in terms of, like, star players, offensive and defensive teams, and injury. Like, I think a significant amount of players last year in the playoffs got injured with like season-ending injuries. So like it's
which means they won't be playing this season because they were injured at the end of last season. Oh,
right. So the East is gonna be really interesting. I think there's gonna be sneaky teams that make the playoffs, and then there's gonna be the teams that like you just know won't. So, Cass, now that you kind of have that little bit of drama on which conference is better than the other, is there a division you want to start with first? We have the Atlantic in the East or the Northwest in the Western Conference.
So I think I want to start with whichever one is worse, because I like to end on a bang.
Yes.
But is there any like logic to the names of the division or not really?
I don't think so. Personally, because it's interesting, like with the Northwest, like a lot of these teams, they switched ownership at some point, and like some teams moved different cities. So like some teams don't even make sense, like location wise, why they're in that specific division. It's just how, I don't know, the league shaped it up. But
yeah, that's how it is with the NFL too. Yeah. Y'all are freaks. Know your geography.
Like, you know? Please.
Okay, but no, let's start with the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference.
In the Atlantic Division, we have the Boston Celtics. Their record last year was 61 wins, 21 losses. They finished second. Then we have the New York Knicks, which they had 51 wins, 31 losses. They finished third. Then we have the Toronto Raptors. They had 30 wins, 52 losses, and they finished 11th in the conference. The Brooklyn Nets, they had 26 wins and 56 losses. They finished 12th. And then ending on a bang, we had the Philadelphia 76ers, and they had 24 wins, 58 losses, and they finished 13th. So without further ado, let's start with the Boston Celtics. So the Boston Celtics, they are led by two superstars, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then they have like this weirdo coach, Joe Mazzulla, who really gives Jameson Winston vibes. Like,
love that.
Very like kind of spacey, but also like, what are you saying? That's how I need those two to have a conversation so bad. So like, that's how I would compare Joe Mazzulla. Throughout their career, Jason and Jaylen both kind of faced a lot of scrutiny from people on whether they could actually play together and win. I mean, they're both very young. They're one of the youngest duos to make the playoffs consistently, but they could never win. They were always like losing in poor fashion, but they definitely shut the haters down 2 seasons ago. They had the best record in the league. They eventually won the title. But Boston is like, I hate Boston. It's one of those teams that I just can't stand. Personally, I do think when they won, they kind of had the easiest path to the finals. They were beating severely injured teams. And like I said, the East is not as strong as the West, but I digress. Last season, they did have high expectations to repeat. They came into the season with the same core players and had tremendous depth off the bench. However, the Celtics lost last year to the New York Knicks in 6 games, and essentially they like choked a bunch of leads. Like, there were many times that they had like 20-point, 18-point leads, and they just let the Knicks come in and beat them bad. And to make matters even worse, Jason Tatum tore his Achilles in the last game, causing him to miss what people think he's gonna miss this whole upcoming season. I don't know. He's kind of being a freak on social media and being like, I'm dribbling in the court, I'm running laps, I'm doing all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, pal, settle down.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is kind of giving Aaron Rodgers. I'm making a miraculous recovery. I will
Right.
be playing earlier than expected and then probably won't be. Cool.
Right.
I'm taking notes. Joe Mazzulla equals Jameis Winston. Also, why do I feel like everybody I know hates Boston? Is there a reason for that or?
Boston wins all the damn time. They're one of, I think it's either them or the Lakers are like the most winning teams in the league. So like obviously people are tired of seeing their asses all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so Celtics, why are like almost giving Chiefs vibes?
Dead ass.
Maybe?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And also they're in the Bucks conference, right?
Yes, they are in the Bucks conference. So like Boston and the Bucks, especially after the whole Giroux trade, like there is some beef there.
Drew, how can I forget about my man Drew?
I know.
Love
So
him.
coming into this season, I don't know. With Jason Tatum's injury, they're not going to be as good. I don't think Jaylen Brown is the star of that team. I think he's actually quite bad, in my opinion. But I think they're going to try to tank this year to try to get a higher draft pick in the upcoming draft. But nevertheless, we will see. So that's the Boston Celtics for you.
Okay.
Now we have the New York Knicks. So they are infamous for their celebrity row at Madison Square Garden. This is where you're going to see Spike Lee, Timmy Chalamet, Ben Stiller. This team is led by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is a new acquisition as of last year.
Isn't he a little fruity?
He's a little fruity, and you know what? I love that about him.
And I love that about him too.
Yeah, he's like such a like zesty little freak. I kind of love it. I don't know. Yep. I think it's very quirky.
See, I pay attention a little bit.
You do. You know. You fucking know.
I know that one.
You know what? I would say that's the most important one to learn because he's probably my favorite on that team for that reason exactly. Not only is he a little bit of a fruit, he's dating Jordan Woods.
Yes.
And he's a very good human. Like, he's a very nice guy. So 3 weeks before the season started last year, the Minnesota Timberwolves did trade Kat, one of their franchise players, for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo to the Knicks. In my opinion, I do think the trade was kind of a win-win for both teams. The Knicks did like make a good playoff push. They did ultimately lose to the Pacers in 6 games. The biggest concern I would say for me with this team going into the season is the lack of defense. I mean, both Kat and Jalen Brunson are cones. And
okay, can we explain what a cone is?
Yes,
for those that don't know the lingo, which is by those I mean me.
Like when I think of a traffic cone, I just think of you standing there, arms out, and you aren't shifting your hips, right? Like you're not moving with the ball. Like you're easy to go around. So this like makes it really easy for like offensive heavy teams to kind of get their shot off.
See, and that's interesting for Kat because if you're fruity, move them hips.
Move them fucking hips. And he's a big guy. And he's a big guy.
Sorry, it's just A plus B equals C in my brain, so I don't understand why
like
you're not a good defensive player.
I agree. So, yeah, that's like my biggest concern. The Knicks also did fire their head coach at the end of their season last year. So we're going to see if that gives them an edge. And like timeout, one thing to know about the NBA, firing coaches is real frequent. So keep that on your radar. The NBA head coaching job is not for the weak. So I do expect the New York Knicks to be a top 3-4 seed this year with the East being so bad, but I don't think they could win it all with the team that they have. So now we have the Toronto Raptors, our Canadian team. This team to me gives rebuilding vibes. They won the title in 2019.
Oh, that's recently.
Recently, yep. They haven't done anything since, though. I don't think any of the players who were on that winning team are still on the Raptors today. I say think because I don't know for certain, but like their star like core group, it's like an exciting young core. They have RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, and they did just trade for a guy named Brandon Ingram this offseason. I don't have high hopes for them winning it, but I think my like sneaky little pick would be that they will make the playoffs this year.
Oh.
We'll see if that happens. But then I'm also going to be so truthful. I'm not really a watcher of this team. I'm sorry to any Raptors fans that we may have. I'm going to try to be better this year, but they just don't really enchant me that much. It's hard to watch teams lose all the time. Okay?
Yeah, so true.
Oh, next we have the Brooklyn Nets. Don't even waste your time. This team just is bad. They always seem to be in the midst of like rebuilding, but they're never bringing in the right players. Like, I think last draft they had like 5 first-round picks and they drafted all shooting guards. Like,
I don't know
where's
what
the
that
driver?
means.
Like, they drafted all the same player of the same position.
What does a shooting guard do? Am I stupid?
No, you're not, because I felt like I learned this too. A shooting guard is the one that like kind of reads what's going on the floor and makes the plays.
Okay, what's a point guard?
Point guard is the one, they do like the same thing, but they are like more in like the mid-range shooting the ball. Okay, it's kind of difficult to explain, but the shooting guard is kind of like the playmaker, and the point guard is the one that's scoring the points, if that makes sense.
Nope, but I'll learn.
You will learn. You'll learn. When you have your fantasy team this year and you have like a player that you can like actually watch and like, okay, you're going to want to watch those games, you'll get it. It's like me with football, not understanding what the fuck a tight end is.
Yeah. Yep, that's so true. Okay, I'll learn.
So basically, they drafted all the same player with the same archetype. Like, there's no diversity, no difference. They need someone that can play defense. Why wouldn't you find somebody that can play defense? The only win I will give this team is that they traded Cam Johnson, and he's a high-volume wing scorer, meaning he's kind of out on the perimeter. He plays defense a lot. He shoots the 3-ball a lot. To my favorite team, the Denver Nuggets, for my least favorite player, MPJ. But we'll get to that later. Michael Porter Jr. Now, one thing to know about Michael Porter Jr. is he is somebody that people need to take the mic away from. Okay? He has a podcast. No more men with podcasts. Please. I'm begging. And he just says the most, like, I don't know who his PR person was in Denver, but he did not take them with in Brooklyn. Like, that's all I really got to say about that. So he's kind of a fucking weirdo. But anyways, do not expect this team to make the playoffs, let alone the play-in tournament. They're going to be bad.
Okay, word.
And then the last of this division, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. And thank God the city of Philly has the Eagles, because this 76ers team is significantly injury prone. This team is led by Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. 3 players who I think in like total did not even play 20 games together last season in the 82-game season.
Oh.
And mind you, what's a little bit more horrifying is that Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey are all like max contract players. So they're making a significant amount of money. And when you're not playing games, what are we paying you for? Why are you here? Type shit. So, and Paul George is old. Joel Embiid is getting older. Tyrese Maxey is young. I think he's going to be whatever, but not good. And as a Nikola Jokic apologist, I do love to hate on Joel Embiid, but it's just not fun for me anymore when he's hurt all the time and bro just never plays. So don't get me wrong, he is a generational talent, but like my biggest thing is like showing up. And if you can get out, I will not trust that man until he wins a playoff series in the second round. So I expect their season to start as it always does. They play really well the first 2 months. Someone gets hurt. They get booted out the first round. I'm so sorry, Philly fans. Like, that's
but they're all
really
going to be healthy
say.
going into this season?
Yes. These 3 so far. We have Joel Embiid is a little dicey. So he has a bad knee issue. And last season, he came into the season saying that he wasn't going to play all the games. He was going to do a very load management heavy schedule, meaning like play 1 game, take 1 game off. But he did not play a lot towards the end of the season. I just don't, I wouldn't expect Joel Embiid to play 82 games. I wouldn't even expect him to play 50 games this year, unfortunately. Yeah. So when you're like looking to pick a team, you're like, oh, I'm going to support this team. And I encourage you to support a mid team, not this one. I'm going to steer you away from this one.
Okay.
Just because I don't want you to go through that pain.
Thank you so much for looking out for me.
Of course.
That's what sisters do.
And I also would never let you do that as a Nikola Jokic truther, because the beef between Nikola Jokic fans and Joel Embiid fans is real and it aggravates me. So I digress. So for the divisional drum, the beef I'm choosing here is going to be between New York and Boston. I think With the Celtics being favored to win against New York in the playoffs and then ultimately losing, Jason Tatum snapping that Achilles, I think like the Celtics kind of have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm just unsure if we'll see that action play out because of that Achilles injury. Other than that, this division's kind of boring. Like, I am not seeing hands being fought, but when we get into this next one, don't you worry.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, let's talk about the Northwest Division. Now we're really getting into like the meat and potatoes of the league. Personally, I would say the Northwest Division is probably the best division in the NBA. Not only does it have my favorite team and players, but it also has the best rivalries. Like, I could choose many for you. So,
okay, word meat and potatoes.
Girl, I was excited. I did choose this one because I thought it would be fun to talk about OKC, the Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder first, because they did win last year.
Yeah.
They were the youngest team to ever do so. Like, I would say their average age is probably 24, 25.
Damn.
They ran laps around the West and the East. They finished with the best record in the league. And when you finish with the best record in the entire league, that means you get home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs and the finals. So,
damn.
They were fucking good, and I fucking hate this team. It's a team that you hate because they are so good. Like, truly, they beat my team in the playoffs. Like, I don't know what else to say.
But is this a recent development where you hate this team? Was that just a product of last year?
Definitely more so a product of last year, because you beat my team, you're fucking dead to me. You know?
Right. So when you say like all of these things that it's like the youngest team and that whatever, I'm like drawing parallels. This is like what the Milwaukee Brewers want to be this year with the best record in the league. But like the thing is that the Brewers usually choke in the playoffs, so we'll see. Fingers crossed they don't this year.
Let's hope they are the OKC Thunder of the MLB.
Let's also hope the Green Bay Packers are the OKC of the fucking NFL this year.
Dead ass.
That's
and you
all
know
I
what?
gotta say.
OKC lost some games. So, like, if anything, that's good for the Packers. For the Packers,
you gotta lose some. You can't win them all. Well, you
can't.
But
it teaches
most
adversity.
Teams don't. True. Adversity, youngest teams.
Exactly.
This is giving me hope for my team.
Right.
But anyways, continue.
This team has the reigning MVP and the finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he was look up a picture. I think you'll be enchanted.
I'm literally looking at a picture right now. Shai Gilgeous? What the fuck is a Gilgeous?
I don't know, but it
What's
works
a Gilgeous?
well for him. He looks right.
I know who this guy is.
Yeah, he's like a fashion killer. He's like cute, but he's Canadian, so he has that little like embarrassing Canadian accent. So like he can't really sound that tough, you know? He was averaging like 30 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists last year. Like just an amazing stat line for such a young guy. He has his little mid-range partner, Jalen Williams. So like what's so irritating about this team is that they're also just really well managed. Not only are they good and will be in the future because they're so young, they have significant draft capital. So I expect this team to be good as they were last year. I'm not sure if they will necessarily be better. They didn't bring anybody on their roster this offseason. I think they can run it back with this core, and honestly, that's a good idea. You just won. However, the NBA has not had a repeat winner since the Golden State Warrior dynasty in like the 2015-16s arc. And the other teams in the West. Yeah. The other teams in the West got better. So if we're going to be, history truthers, history's telling us that OKC, I don't know, you're going to have to do
win
something.
The whole thing. But probably be in the playoffs.
100%. I think they're making the conference finals for sure in the West. Bearing health, I should say. Okay, let's move on to the Denver Nuggets, to my Shaylas, my star fucking crew. This team is led by the best player in the entire world, Nikola Jokic, Big Honey, I like to call him.
Not Big Honey.
Just a delicate angel baby.
Delicate angel baby are not the words I would use to describe Nikola Jokic, but okay.
What do you mean? I look at that man and I think I would be like, oh my God, can you please lift me up to reach this cat out of a tree? And he would with one arm,
Right.
Okay. Since they won in 2023, they kind of lost some players because teams could pay more money than them. So people were like, okay, can you fucking do this? But they kept losing players and they weren't adding players. So the big issue with me last season, which they truly had my mental health plummeting from October to May, was their lack of depth. They had a great starting five, but they didn't have anyone really to come off the bench after that. And that, I mean, in the NBA, you going into the playoffs, you need to have an 8-man roster. They were winning games, but many of them came down to nail biters, meaning that you have to play your star players for 40 minutes a night, which once playoffs comes, they're tired. And then they were also losing to bad teams. They lost to the Washington Wizards twice last year, who I'm pretty sure ended last or close to last in the East.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah, so it was not pretty. They did win 50 games, which is impressive. You should be winning 50 games at least with the best player on your team, but at the cost of everything, I'm not sure. Vibes got so bad last year that with 4 games left in the regular season, the Nuggets fired their head coach, Michael Malone, and their general manager, Calvin Booth. So that to me, when I first read that, I was like, okay, so we're going to give up in the playoffs. 4 games before.
Whoa. That's crazy.
And in the West, the 3 through the 8 seed were all separated by 1 game. So those last 4 games were must wins if they wanted home court advantage. And so they fired their coach. And I was like, okay, that's so awesome. I wanted the GM gone.
Cool.
I'm glad they fired Calvin Booth. But Michael Malone was really sad for me. But interestingly enough, once the playoffs arrived, they did much better than what people and I expected. They beat the Clippers in 7 games. And then they went band for band against the Thunder. They did ultimately lose. They took them to 7 games. They did lose in game 7. But just to add, the Nuggets starting 5, out of them, only 3 of them were fully healthy. Michael Porter Jr. was playing on a broken shoulder damn near, and Aaron Gordon tore his hamstring and was playing on a grade 3 hamstring strain. So to me, that gives that they could be OKC if their whole team was healthy. So it was a good thing to kind of look forward to. I mean, and then this offseason, their new GMs did actual fucking work. They traded for Cam Johnson, who will fit really nicely into the system, I think. They actually got a backup center, which they've never had since, I watched. He's the best backup center that they've ever brought in. And then they signed Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., 2 good spot-up shooters. So for me personally, the vibes are so up, and I expect them to be in contention for a ring.
Love that.
So
love that for you. Excited to watch this journey.
And if you need to be a fan, that's a good choice. So
well, I'm already a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks, so I don't know if I can really do that. No, I know. I'm not looking forward to what you have to say about them in future episodes, but
we'll get there. And
I need to get the tea, and I need to hear the truth, even if I don't like what I'm going to hear.
I know, and that's going to be tough. But okay, next, the Minnesota Timberwolves. This team,
I know
is
about this team a little bit.
Yeah, this team is my frenemy team. Being in Minnesota, I obviously love to watch them when they play against Denver. I want to commit crimes.
Right.
This team is led by a generational talent, Anthony Edwards. He has only seemed to be proving himself and getting better. In season past,
he has a bajillion children, right?
Bajillion children. Yes, he does. I don't know what the fuck.
He's kind of a piece of shit, isn't he?
Yeah,
like a piece of shit human being.
Yeah, why? The way he told one of his baby mamas that he would just rather pay the lifetime of child support than take care of that kid, that type shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But good basketball player.
Good basketball player. Good basketball player. In seasons past, the Timberwolves have kind of always been bad. They haven't really made a bunch of noise. If they make the playoffs, they're usually the 8th seed. However, the past 2 years, the Timberwolves have made it all the way to the conference finals, which is very impressive for them, although they have lost each time. Last year, they lost to OKC in 5 games. The year before, they lost to the Mavericks in 5 games. So there's a little bit of a pattern here. They do have a solid starting 5 with Ant at the helm and a pretty significant young bench. I think my biggest concern for Minnesota is their lack of playmaking. One thing about Anthony Edwards is he has a hard time reading the floor and making the right play, but he is young and I expect him to hopefully get better. I mean, their starting shooting guard or like playmaker is Mike Conley, and he's like 36, 37 years old and just not that good. And they didn't really add anyone in this offseason, so it's interesting. It will be interesting to see if they can kind of get over the hump of them losing in like 5 games to eventual winners and actually make something happen. I don't know. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be much better. I can't say the same about the rest of his team.
That's so Minnesota of them to like be good and then just shit the bed every time.
Right. And I feel sad sometimes. But
they're in your favorite team's division. So do you really feel that sad?
No, because let me tell you, when we get to the divisional dram, Minnesota unfortunately owns Denver's numbers. So that makes me so irritated. But I'm hoping this season's going to be a different story. The final 2 teams, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. This team is like a sneakily good defensive team with a lot of young guys trying to make serious noise and kind of earn their starting spots. They did reunite with Damian Lillard this offseason, which I do think was like kind of sweet. Dame unfortunately just had like a rocky career in Milwaukee. Unfortunately also had a season-ending Achilles tear. And I think he's kind of at the point where he knows he probably isn't going to win a ring anymore. And I think he would just rather play like where his family is. And I think that's very sweet. Like he'll just be a very good vet player to these young guys, so that could be fun.
That is kind of sad.
It's so sad. Like I wish Dame could have worked out better in Milwaukee because like
don't we all?
Like dead ass. I thought it was fun at first, but yeah, I don't really have high expectations for them, but I do think they will be like one of those teams that you're gonna have to play them for the full 48 minutes because their defense is that good. And then moving on to the Utah Jazz. Yawn, a snooze fest. Another one I would say that is rebuilding, but don't know what their goal is. They had a high pick in the draft last year, and they drafted Ace Bailey, a diva who made it known that he did not want to get drafted by them. Like this guy was actively declining working out for them. So I don't know how that's going to be for their locker room vibes, but do not expect greatness out of this team. This will be another team I should say don't be a fan of.
Drama.
Yeah. So
also, I would never be a fan of a team that's based out of Utah.
Not the Mormons. Yeah, no.
Not the Mormons. I don't rock with the Mormons. Sorry, y'all. No. You make for great TV, but not about that.
Yep. And then so like with the divisional drama, there are so many storylines in this division that I could choose from. I mean, we could choose OKC, Minnesota. OKC ended Minnesota season last year. We could choose Denver, OKC. OKC ended Denver season last year, but the one I am choosing strikes like so close to home, and that is Denver and Minnesota. 2 years ago, when Denver won the championship, they played Minnesota in the first round, and they beat them in 5 games. And when they played that series, I was obviously happy that Denver won. They went on to win a ring, but I remember I was talking to a friend, and they were like, who are you going to be concerned with next year? And I knew it in my heart and soul. I was like, it's Minnesota. They, like, the way that they play, they match up, like, really well against Denver, and they're only going to get better. And so the year after, I was proven right. Minnesota and Denver met again in the second round of the playoffs this time, and Minnesota beat Denver at home in Game 7 after fueling a 20-point comeback win. Yeah, so devastating game for me to witness.
Oh my God, no, literally devastating. Like, I cannot imagine such a thing happening to me.
And then last year, Minnesota basically whooped Denver's ass all season in their matchups. Nikola Jokic put up a 60-point triple-double in one of the games. Minnesota won. That was low-key Russell Westbrook's fault, but I digress. But these teams are so fun because they're always going to put up like a cinematic game. I think Denver hates Minnesota because they own their number. I think Minnesota loves playing Denver because that's fucking lunch for them. Every time these teams play, there's a lot of trash talking, bully ball, and you can literally see players wanting to beat each other's ass. But I have different expectations this season. I'm really not going to trust Denver to be a true contender until they can beat Minnesota. So for all my Minnesota fucking Timberwolves fans out there, you're welcome. That's the nicest thing I want to say about your fuck-ass team. Anyways.
Period.
That's on that. So
maybe I have to root for the Timberwolves. No, I'm not going to actually because I
don't never hear the end from it. the end of it.
I don't like Ant. So, like,
So period.
I want to like the star
girl.
player. I love the Bucks because I also love Giannis.
And that's
so,
a great team to like. I just need you to choose a team that will also win.
Yeah, I liked what you were talking about with the Toronto Raptors. That could be
think that's
interesting
fun.
if you think that's a sneaky team. That could be fun.
I think it's a sneaky team that could make the playoffs for sure. But
we still have how many more divisions?
So we'll have 2 more episodes
divisions,
of Divisional Drams. Yeah, but 4 total. Yeah.
So we have 4 more divisions to go. So
yes,
I'll get back to you on what my sleeper team, my sneaky second team.
Wait, this will be perfect because we'll have our fantasy team drafted. Hopefully I set this all up perfectly so that we'll have our team drafted right before the week the season starts.
Yeah, definitely gonna need to do some research on that because
I'm so for phoning a friend. Unless you're like right before me in the draft, I will not tell you which player I'm taking, but I'll give you advice.
Right.
You know?
Right. Okay, so I might have to do my own third-party research.
I would, do some third-party research, but I will send you like who are like first round top picks, like you should be wanting to aim for. You know what I mean?
Word. This ain't my first rodeo.
No, girl, you know.
Technically it is, but not my first overall fantasy sports rodeo, but first fantasy basketball rodeo. But it's
gonna be so
excited.
Fun.
Thank you so much for the lowdown because now I will be looking for these teams and know what the fuck is up.
Yes,
so
it's gonna be so fun.
Okay, y'all, that is it for the episode this week. Next week, we are going to be recapping our favorite games from week 5, doing our Secret Gardens update, doing our Diva Down segment, all of the football things, and of course, picking the winners of the week 6 NFL slate. And then we're also going to be continuing our Divisional Dram segment and the NBA crash course and all things NBA as well, as that season is coming up. New episodes will still drop every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Sisterly Shove. We will talk to y'all next week.